Alright folks, how you doing? Welcome back. So, one of my favourite YouTubers, admittedly the guy's a bit of a dork, is First Timers, and he makes some pretty good videos. I don't like that he cries on camera and shit like that. He certainly wouldn't get me doing that, but he does make a very good point in one of his latest videos that really the way that Aragorn comes to the throne of Gondor is so much better done in the books than it is in the movies. And here I've pulled up a map of Gondor, and rather like Robert the Bruce in real world history, he had to win back his own kingdom effectively. Except in the books, Aragorn travels the length of about 300 miles in the span of 5 days. He gets from the Rohirrim camp at Dunharrow, he goes through the Dwemerberg with the Grey Company, which is 30 Dunedain, his brothers-in-law, effectively, and Legolas and Gimli. And they summon the dead at the Stone of Eric, which reminds me of the Praying Hands of Mary up in the Islands of Scotland, which we've been to. And then he has to travel the entire length of Gondor in 5 days. That is extraordinary. I mean, why are we getting shite like The Rings of Power, which I've never watched? I've seen like 3 clips online, and that's about it. Why are we getting The Hunt for Gollum? What they should do is cast another actor as Aragorn, and they should redo the whole thing, the 5 days from when Aragorn leaves the camp at Dunharrow to reaching Pelargir and sailing up the Anduin. And it's extraordinary. I mean, really, Aragorn becomes the king through, in effect, essentially re-winning his own kingdom back, because Gondor is under attack. Not just Minas Tirith, but there are other battles being fought at Lamadon and in Lebanon, and there's a big battle going on at Pelargir, and they really shortcut this in the movies. And it's a total disgrace that they have this green ghost army going through the levels of Minas Tirith. And as Bernard Hill, the actor who played Theoden, even said on the commentary, it's like that stuff that you pour down the toilet when you've done a really big shite. No, it's just ridiculous in the movies how pathetically weak Gondor is, whereas it's described as the last standing kingdom, which isn't true. Rohan has not fallen, but there are so many faults with Return of the King and with the trilogy. Like another thing as well, what is it? Gandalf says Minas Tirith has stood for 1,000 years, and Minas Tirith is over 3,000 years old. In the books, and even by the continuity in the movies, it's way more than 1,000 years old. It's like 3,500 years old, I think. I don't exactly remember how old it is, but it's way more than 1,000 years. And the Gondorians are still a strong people. It's just that they're under attack from multiple different fronts. I mean, you can see that it's a very coastal kingdom. There are parties raiding inland. The whole country of Gondor is in effect in a state of war. The beacons were not to get Rohan's help either. They had this thing called the Red Arrow in the books, which is like, pushing the nuclear, launch code button. When a writer from Rohan shows up, in Edoras or wherever the king of Rohan is with the Red Arrow, that's, emergency, DEFCON 1, we fucking need help right now. We're in big fucking trouble, So, I don't know if I got the DEFCON thing right, but you know what I mean, right? It's like in We Were Soldiers when he says, Broken Arrow, just send everything in right now, send in all the aircraft. Broken Arrow. Interesting. It's, again, another arrow. But it's like, just send everything in right fucking now, because, emergency, we really fucking help. No, the beacons were lit in the books to let the rest of Gondor know that Minas Tirith was in trouble and to get other people from Gondor to show up. And there are so many things wrong with the depiction of Minas Tirith and Denethor and Gondor in general in the movies, like making Denethor this senile, half-wit, this idiot, who's a fucking lunatic. And in reality, Denethor is very human in the books. He's just in a state of despair, one, because Boromir, his favourite son and his successor, is dead, and two, because he looked into the Palantir and he's seen how strong Sauron's armies are, and he knows that Gondor is essentially fucked. And Faramir, when he comes back, You know, he's like, oh, that's what drives him over the edge, because that's it. You know, this is the end of Gondor, and the city's under attack. His eldest son is dead. His second son, Faramir, looks like he's about to snuff it, and he just goes over the edge. But you know, it's more explained in the books. It's more understandable. It's more relatable. But you know, as I say, there's so many things wrong, especially with Return of the King. You know, to have the what do you call it? The stuff that you put down the bog army, as Bernard Hill described it. You know, whereas in reality, you know, presumably this is kind of based on Robert the Bruce, that Aragorn has to effectively re-win back his own kingdom in order to get to the throne, and able to get to Minas Tirith on time, and it's just in the nick of time, because the battle has effectively turned against Gondor at that point, and Rohan, and it's nowhere near as one-sided in the books as the movie. It's really back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in the books. You know, it's a very close run thing, and the Gondorians win the battle with the help of Rohan, but they don't have any help at all from the Ghost Army, because they're released at Pelargir. They don't even go to Minas Tirith. But well, anyway, there you go. I've ranted long enough. Thank you very much for watching.